So good afternoon to all. So I would like to start the session as we are running behind the time. So now we are structure of the page table. Now we are in the concept structure of the page table. In the structure of the page table, we need to discuss the three concepts. What are those? Follow the cursor. The first one is a hierarchical paging, and the second one is a hashed page table, and the third one is the inverted page table. In the morning session, already we have covered a hierarchical paging as well as hashed page table. So let me remind the concepts for you again. So as only 26 participants are joined to the class, so meanwhile I will explain the same concepts. I will divide the same concept for you. Okay. So first of all, what is a hierarchical paging? So what is the need of structure a page table? First point you need to understand. So what is the reason for structure of a page table is actually we are dividing the logical address space into pages. So whenever you are dividing the logical address space into pages, that means the process is divided into pages. If the process is big sized process, then automatically it will be divided into more number of pages. If it divided into more number of pages, automatically the page table consists of more number of entries. That means if the page table is big, automatically it requires more main memory. The page table need to be in the main memory. The page table need to kept in the main memory, right? So if the page table is big, so that we require more main memory, right? And one more thing what you need to understand, the page table need to be in a contiguous memory location, right? So in order to keep this big sized page table into the main memory is creating a problem. Why? Because the page table size is big and it requires a contiguous memory location to keep it in the main memory. Those contiguous memory locations might not be available in the main memory. At that case, we cannot keep the page table into main memory. Are you got my problem? Are you got my problem? The problem is whenever the page table is big, so it requires more main memory, and the main memory is having contiguous memory locations at the time of keeping the page table into it, right? So we require more main memory. This is the problem number one, and this problem number two is the memory locations need to be contiguous in order to keep the page table. So in such situation we cannot keep the we cannot keep the page table into the main memory if that much of memory is not available by the time, right? In order to avoid this problem, what we need to do is we need to divide the page number into two parts actually. So if it is a 32-bit address, if it is a 32-bit logical address, what we had earlier, what we did earlier, so we earlier it will be divided into two parts. The first part is the page number and the second part is offset. It is of 32-bit. Okay, it is a page number and it is a offset, right? It is a page number and it is offset. So now with the first technique what we are doing, it is called as two level paging. So in the case of two level paging, so we are dividing the page number into two parts, the page number into two parts and then offset. Okay, so this is P1 is of 10 bits and P2 is of 10 bits and for offset 12 bits. Total 32 bit. Okay. Or else if it is a 64 bit address, what we can do? The entire logical address space is divided into three parts. The logical address is divided into three parts. Okay. P1, P2 and then D. We should not draw like this. Why? Because we need to show the size variation. Okay, sorry. So if it is a 62-bit address, what we need to do? P1 and then P2 and then D. So P1 is of 42 and it is 10 and this is 12. Combinedly 64 bit. Okay. If it is 32 bit, P1 is of 10 size, 10 bit size, P2 is of 10 bit size and offset is 12 bits. If it is a 64 bit address, P1 is 42 and P2 is 10 and 12 bits for offset. So what is a two-level paging? So what is two-level paging means? So usually there is an outer page table. It points to the inner page table. So finally, if we go to the inner page table, we'll get the frame. For it, we need to add the offset to get the physical address. Okay, are you got my point? So the outer page table is P1, the inner page table is P2. So outer page table consists of indexes to the inner page table. If you go to the inner page table, there you will get the where the page is available in which frame. So by that we'll get the frame. So for that frame, we need to add the offset. So when we add the offset, we have an exact physical address. Okay, that is about two-level paging. Let me show you the diagram. So in the hierarchical paging, then go to the line, break up the logical address space into multiple page tables. Instead of using only one page table, big page table, we are dividing the page table into two parts. That is called as two-level page table. Okay. So if the logical address space is of 32 bit, then P1 is of 10 bits and P2 is of 10 bits and D is of 12, where the page number is divided into two parts and it is D is called as page offset. Okay. What is an idea? Outer page table as pointed to the inner page table and the inner page table points to the memory frames. So this is the actual address translation schema. So for example, P1. P1 is the index to the outer page table. And if you go to the P2, there you get the frame number. So to that particular frame, by using that frame number, you can go to the base address of the frame. Okay. From the base address, we need to add the, from the base address, we need to go to some other location to for getting the exact location. So this is the base address. That means the frame points to the base address. Okay. From the base address, how much we need to add to go to the exact location. So you need to add the offset. So if you add the offset to the base address, then we'll get the exact location. Okay. I repeat once again, the P1 is an outer table, outer page table. It is an index to the inner page table. If you go to the inner page table, then you get the frame number. So frame number means starting address, base address you will get. Okay, base address of the frame. Okay, in that frame where we need to go. This is the entire frame. Frame is a part of a main memory, partition of a main memory. If it is a frame, in this frame where we need to move to get the exact location. For that you need to add D. D is a offset. So we need to add offset D to the base address so that we get the exact physical address where we want to access the information. Okay. It is a two level address translation. Okay. So if it is a 64 bit, as I told you earlier, P1 is of 42 size and P2 is of 10 size and D is of 12. So if we add these three things, then we'll get 64 address. Okay. It is also two level schema, but the thing is here we are using 64 bit address. Earlier it was 32 bit address. 10 plus 10 20 plus 12 32. So now it is a 64 bit address. 42 plus 10 52 plus 12 64. Okay. And then what about this one? So this is a three level paging. Three level paging means the entire page number is here divided into three partitions. Earlier it was divided into only two partitions. Outer page table, inner page table. But here we have three partitions, right? P1 indicates the second outer page table. That means P1 is an index to the P2. If we go to the P2, then P2 is indexed to the P3. If you go to P3, then you get the frame number. That is a base address. So for the base address, you need to add the offset so that we will go to the exact physical address. Okay. Outer page table, second outer page table points to the inner page table. That means first outer page table. The first outer page table points to the inner page table. Thereby we will get the frame number. To the frame number, we need to add the offset to get the physical address. Okay, this is about hierarchical paging. Okay, and then when we move to the hashed page table, observe the first line. If the address space is greater than 32 bits, address space is greater than 32 bit means the logical address space is greater than 32 bit. If it is 32 bit greater than 32 means automatically the page table size is even more big. Even more big. If it is usually memory addresses are represented in the powers of 2. Powers of 2. So whenever the address space is greater than 32 and it might be a 64 bit address. So automatically what happened? So when if it is a 64 bit address, automatically the page table size will be even more. So why? Because P1 is of 42 and next P2 is of 10 and then D is 12. 42 means how many number of entries a page table consists of? 2 power 42. Okay, outer page table entries. It will be pointed to the inner page table. Right, inner page table we'll get the frame. We need to add the offset to D to the frame so that we'll get the physical address. So this is a technique actually if it is a two level paging schema. But if you observe here, if it is more than 32, the page table size is even more bigger. So in order to avoid problems, we'll need to go to the new technique that is called as hashed page table. Okay, in order to reduce the page table entries, we need to go to the hash table. So what a hashing is? So usually the logical address, as you know, the logical address is divided into two parts. What are those? The logical address is divided into two parts. What are those? One is a page number and the second one is the offset. This is the page number and this is the offset. Whenever the CPU generates a logical address, it will be divided into two partitions. One is the page number and the second one is the offset. This page number will give to the hash function. This page number will be given to hash function so that it will generate a hash value. Whenever you are submitting a page number to the hash function, it will generate a hash value. It points to the one entry in the hash table. It is called as hash table. For example, if you have given a number, page number 0, page 0. So page 0 is given to the hash function. Page 0 of process 1. Page 0 of process 1 is given to hash function so that it will give one hash value. That hash value is pointed to one entry in the hash table. So what it indicates? So it is a linked list. It has three partitions. First one is the page number 0, for example, and the second one is the frame number 5, and the next is a pointer to the next node. That means a process is divided into multiple pages, right? Process is divided into multiple pages. So what is a paging concept? What is paging concept? Process is divided into equal sized pages. A process is divided into equal sized pages. That is the first point you need to understand under the paging. And the second point is main memory is divided into frames. Okay, that is the second point. And the CPU generated logical address is divided into two parts. One is a page number and the second one is the offset. Okay. If the logical address is greater than 32, then we need to go for the page table. Okay. The page number is given to the hash function. It will generate a hash value. That hash value point to one entry in the hash table. If you go to that particular entry, it is linked to, it is pointed to a node, list of nodes. That is the reason why it is called as a linked list. Why? Because each node is linked to the some other node. So 0th page is available in the 5th frame. Maybe first page is available in the 3rd frame. Like that, it will point to the next node. Second page might be in the 7th frame. Okay, like that it will point to the next. For example, if a process is having only 3 pages, then automatically, if it is the last page of a process, then automatically it will not point it to anyone. So this is the last node. So how can we know that this is the last node? So why? Because the last partition is not pointed to any other node. So that is the reason why we mention it as a null. Okay. Likewise, hash table hash for each and every entry is pointed to a linked list of nodes. Okay. For example, now what you are willing to access, you need to know where the page 0 is available. So where the page 0 is available, this is the page number and this is the frame number. Okay, if you know the frame number 5, so automatically to that particular frame number, so what we need to add, so by this we know the frame number F, for example 5. So it is the base address of the memory location. So what we need to add to that particular frame number, you need to add the offset so that we will get the physical address. Right? I repeat once again. So in the hash table, the logical address is divided into 2 parts. One is the page number and the second one is the offset. The page number is given to the hash function. So by that we will get the hash value. The hash value is pointed to one entry in the hash table. So that entry is pointed to the linked list. That means list of nodes linked together. The first entry in a node indicates the page number. The second entry is the page number. That means this page is in which frame. And the next partition is linked to the next page. That means next node. Page 1 is available in frame 3. Which page is available in which frame. So all these are related to process 1. Process 1. Okay. So by this we get the frame number. If you know the frame number, automatically we need to add the offset to that particular frame. What it contains? Base address. So we need to add the offset to the base address so that we will get the physical address. Okay. Let me show you the diagram. That is the thing. So here the logical address is divided into 2 parts. One is the page number and the second one is the offset. Follow the cursor. One is the page number and the second one is the offset. Page number is given to the hash function. It will generate one hash value. So that if the hash value is pointed to the one entry in the hash table, so all the pages of a particular process are pointed to the same entry in the hash table. So automatically this is the page number and this is the frame number. Likewise, each and every node is linked to the some other node. Okay, whenever you know the frame number, automatically offset will be added to that particular frame so that we will get the physical address. Okay, this is the idea of hashed page table. When we need to go to the hashed page table, if the size of the logical address is more than 32 bit. Okay. And the next one is inverted page table. So why we go for the inverted page table? What is the need of going to the inverted page table? If it is a multi-programming environment, okay, multiple process are kept in the main memory. right? So if you want to know the exact location of a particular page, so for example, 4th page and 10th offset, 4th page, and next you need to access the 10th location, okay? 10th location, 4th page, 10th location we need to access. So if we give this information to anyone, they cannot get a frame number for you. Why? Because you know the page number, 4th page and the offset 10. Okay. So the information is not clear. Why? Because there are multiple number of process. Which process page is this? Page number 4 means it belongs to which process? If we give a process ID, then you came to know, okay, so this process belongs to these many number of pages, and page 4 is also belong to this particular process, and in that page, in that 4th page, we need to go to the 10th location. Like that information we need to give to the page table. So if you observe this particular diagram, here the logical address is divided into 3 parts. Earlier it was divided into only 2 parts, page number and offset. But here we are giving the logical address is divided into 3 parts. Here we are giving process ID. Okay, that means these pages belongs to, this page belongs to which process. So that if we give the details to the page table, then earlier if we observe, if we observe earlier, so what happened? Earlier the page table has 2 entries. Earlier the page table has 2 entries. Outer is a page number and inner one is the frame number. But in the case of inverted page table, reverse. We need to give process ID as well as page number. We need to keep this in the page table, and outer part we need to represent the frame number. Frame number is of outside and process ID and page number are inside of the page table. Okay, that is the reason why it is called as inverted page table. Earlier, with the help of page number, we are identify the frame number, which page is available in which frame. Now, so in the page table we have process ID and page number are the entries inside of the table, and outer side we have a frame number. Okay, and if you have a frame number, so that we can search the process ID and page number. That means usually main memory is smaller when compared to logical memory. Okay, so earlier what we did, so we outer part is a page number and inside part is a frame number. So but now with the help of a frame number, we can identify a page number belongs to which process ID and which frame consists of this particular information. Why? Because frames are less when compared to pages. Okay, so instead of searching in the page table, so with the help of page number, now we are searching with the help of a frame number. Go to the diagram. So here observe, inside is a process ID and a page number. Okay, number of entries are very less. so that we'll get the frame number. If you know the frame number, automatically the offset will be added to the frame number, so that we'll get the physical address. Earlier, page number is outside and frame number is inside, but this in this inverted page table, page PID and process ID and page number are inside, and outside we are having frame numbers. That means number of frames, the number of locations of frames are the outer side of the page table, and inner side of the page table is process ID and page number. So that is the reason why it is called as inverted page table. So it is very fast. It is very fast when compared to the previous techniques. Why? Because frame numbers are in the outer portion, page numbers are in the inner portion. That means the number of the page table size will be reduced. Why the page table size is reduced? Based upon the number of frames only, the page table are having the entries. Earlier, the page table having entries based on the page numbers. How many number of page numbers are there? That many number of page entries are there in the page table. Now, how many number of frames are there? That many number of entries are there in the page table. So obviously, number of frames, main memory frames are less when compared to the page number. So automatically the page table size will be reduced. Okay, that is the thing. That is called as inverted page table. Okay, so these are the three techniques: inverted page table, and then hashed page table, and the previous one is a hierarchical page table. So these are the three things under the structure of the page table. Okay, I forgot to inform you one thing, that is so this point I already told you, the page table is kept in the main memory, and next each and every page table have one register, page table base register, PTBR, points to the page table. Like that, the length of the page table will be known with the help of PRLR, page table length register. Page table length register indicates the size of the page table. Okay, this one also I mentioned. In this schema, every data or instruction access requires two memory access. That means first we need to know the page is available in which frame. For that we need to access the page table. So if you access the page table, then you know the frame number. Then only we can access the main memory, right? So in order to access the page table, we need to have one memory access. After that, in order to access the data, we require one more access. What is this? What is this? So whenever you want to access some data, what you need to do? The page, in order to check the page number, you need to access the page table. You need to search the page table for a frame number. Okay. So where the page table is available? Page table is available in the main memory. That means in order to get the information, like this page number is available in which frame, for that we need to access the page table. Where the page table is available? In the main memory. That means you are accessing the main memory first time. After know the frame number, once you get the information from the frame page table, you know the frame number. To that particular frame number, you need to add the offset. Once we add the offset, we'll get the physical address. By using that physical address, you can access the data or instructions. In order to access the data and instructions, we need to access the memory second time. That means in order to access the page table, we need to access the main memory once. In order to get the data and instructions, we need to access the main memory once. So total 2 times we need to access the main memory. Okay. So in order to solve this problem, that means we are going to access the main memory for 2 times. One is for page table and the second one is for accessing the data or instructions. In order to avoid such a problem, we have another technique called as transaction look aside buffer or associative memory, another name, right? So these are the technique for avoiding two memory access. Okay, transaction look aside buffer is available in the cache. So that first we need to check in the cache. If the required page is available in the cache, then it is called as cache hit. I already told you in the morning session and the previous call class also. I have explained this one, right? So first CPU generate one address. It is divided into two parts. One is a page number and second one is the offset. So this page number will be the index to the TLB. If it is available in the TLB, that means in the cache, it is called as cache hit. We no need to go to the page table for memory access. We no need to go to access the main memory for the page table. Directly we can get the frame number from the cache itself, so that we can avoid the one memory access. So wait a second. Okay. So this is about transaction look aside buffer. So that means instead of accessing the main memory for two times, one is for accessing the page table and the second one is for accessing the data. In order to avoid this problem, we'll go to the transaction look aside buffer. That means whenever you are trying to get the frame number of a particular page number, we no need to go for the main memory. So where we can get the information? We can get the information from the TLB itself. Okay, TLB is available in the cache, so that we can access the cache. After that, once we get the frame number, offset will be added to the frame number and we'll get the data and instruction from the main memory. Okay, so that is the thing. So we can avoid the two memory access if you go for the TLB. So up to this point, we have completed paging concept. Okay, we have completed paging concept. Do you have any doubts regarding paging or TLB or regarding the structure of page table? If you have any doubt, let me know. Otherwise, I will move to the next concept called as segmentation. Do you have any doubts? Let me know. If you don't have any doubts, through a chart, let me know. Through a chart, let me know. So total 46. Are you sleepy or already? No. Okay, thank you. Okay, so let me move to the next topic, that is called as segmentation. So what is the problem with the paging? I already told you in the paging, the logical address space is divided into pages, and they are of equal size pages. All the pages are of equal size in the case of paging. In the case of paging, all the pages are of equal size. If you observe the program in real time, so the main program consists of so many details. 1 second, ma. Excuse me. Sorry, I got a call. Right. So in the case of paging, what we did? So actually, the entire logical address space is divided into equal sized pages. That means the entire user process is divided into equal sized pages. But it is not real, right? So why? Because in real time, our program consists of so many number of modules. For example, in our program, in our main program, there are so many number of functions. So we have methods, we have local variables, global variables, common blocks, tags, symbol table, arrays. Like that, we have so many things, right? In our program. So let me explain you with the help of a pen. So what is paging? In the case of paging, logical address space is divided into equal sized pages, and main memory is divided into frames, right? Equal sized pages means, but in real time, the user process, have unequal sized blocks or unequal sized functions. Let me give one example. So here the program, so user program. So usually the user program consists of different elements, right? It may have different functions, and the program may have different functions like sum. It may have a function like print, or it may have a function like display. Like that, we have so many number of functions in our program, right? So all these functions are of different size, right? Each and every function does not have same number of instructions. Some is of having a different number of instructions within it. Print function has different functions. Maybe display function has different instructions, different size. That means in a real time, the user process having different sized functions within it, right? And next, main block is of different size. Again, main is a function, right? It is of different size, and it consists of arrays. The user program may have a variables. It might be a local variable or it might be a global variable. Like that, different entities are available in the user program. So in real time, we cannot say that we cannot divide the process into equal size, right? In order to overcome that problem, that means in order to match the user view, exactly, in order to match the user view, so we went to the segmentation concept. Okay, we went to the concept called segmentation, right? Earlier, the logical address space is divided into pages in the case of paging concept. Now the logical address space is divided into segments, and they are not equal. They are not equal, that is, you need to understand. Whereas pages are of equal size, but segments are not equal. They are different size, right? That is the reason why segmentation is relevant to the user view. Whatever we in real time we have, the same thing we can be implement with the help of a segmentation. Okay. So this is the user view of a program. So the logical address space, that means process, a process. Follow the cursor, please. Follow the cursor, please. The logical address space divided into segments. So subroutine. Subroutine means function. Another name for the function is called as subroutine. A process may have a main program. A process may have a square root function within it. A process may have a symbol table. A process may have a stack for storing the temporary parameters. A process may have any other subroutine, any other function like a square root. Like, so this is the user view. If you observe these particular blocks, segments, each of different size, right? They are not same size. So this is one size, and this block is bigger than this one, and this block is bigger than this block. Like that, all are not same, right? That means all the segments are of different size. They are unequal. Okay. So usually where the pages are, where we need to keep the pages need to be available in the frames, main memory. Here also the user space is divided into 4 segments: segment 1, segment 2, segment 3, and segment 4. So all these particular particular segments we need to keep in the main memory, right? So this is a segment 1, and this is a segment 2, and this is a segment 3, and this is the segment 4. Here if you observe, the main memory is also not equal. They are different size partition. This is a bigger than this one, right? That is the thing you need to understand. And next, earlier the logical address is divided into page number and offset. Here also the logical address is divided into 2 parts. One is a segment number, and the second one is the offset. One is a segment number, and the second one is the offset. Okay. So here we have 2 things: base address, limit. Base means starting address of the segment. So whenever the segment is in the main memory, what is the starting address of that particular segment? It will be indicated by the base address. What is the limit? As you know, limit is the size of the segment or the length of the segment. So PTBR, what is PTBR? Page table base register. Like that, segment table base register. So that means segment table base register points to the segment table location in the main memory. So page table we kept in the main memory, right? Like that, here the segment table will be kept in the main memory. It will be pointed by a pointer called as segment table base register. Like that, segment table length register. Earlier we have page table length register. Page table length register is used to tell us about length of a page table. Segment table length register indicates the length of the segment. Okay, length of the segment indicates number of segments in the user by a program. That means the entire process user program is divided into segments. Na? That length will be indicated by segment table length register. Whereas segment table base register is points to the segment table location in the main memory. Why? Because we need to keep the segment table in the main memory, right? And next, one more thing. So in the case of page table, it has 2 entries. What are those? The outer part is a page number and the inner part is a frame. Okay. Likewise, in the case of segment table, the outer partition is of segment table and inner partition is frame. This is a segment number and it is a frame. This is the main memory. Okay. So here this is the segmentation hardware. So if you observe, the CPU generated address is divided into two partitions. Earlier the CPU generated, in the case of paging, the CPU generated logical address is divided into two parts. So follow the cursor please. Follow the cursor please. The logical address is here divided into two parts. One is a segment number and the next one is the half set. Earlier in the case of paging, the logical address is divided into two parts. The first part is paging, page number, and the second part is a half set. Here also the CPU generated logical address is divided into two parts. One is segment number and the second one is half set. Okay. The segment needs to start at the base address and it need to be end with the base plus limit. So let me explain the concept again. We had discussed this one earlier. We had a discussion, right? So this is the main memory. For example, this is operating system and the entire memory is a user area. Entire remaining portion is user area. So whenever you want to keep your process in it, so automatically the process will start at one location. The process will start at one location. So that is called as base address. Where the base address is available? In base register. Right? Like that, the process will have some size. For example, from 512 to 552. Okay, what is this one? This is the length of the process. Length of the process. Okay, where the length of the process available? In a limit register. Base register is the starting address of the process and next length of the process is the limit register. If you add base plus limit, so that we will get the ending address. Check here where the process starts at 512 location. What is the length? What is the length? 50. So 512 plus 50. Sorry, 512 plus 50. What is 512 plus 50? 562. If you observe the diagram, 562 is the ending address. How can we get this one? 512 is the starting address and the length of the process is 50 KB. Then what is the size? What is the ending address of the particular process? If you know the base address, it starts at 512 and the length of the process is available in the limit register. What is the length? 50 KB. If we add 512 to 50, we'll get the 562. 562 is the ending address. Okay, like that. Here the entire user process is divided into segments. Process is divided into segments. Each segment is available in a frame. Which segment is in which frame? How can we know? There is a segment table. Segment table consists of two entries. Outer part is a segment number and inner part is the frame. Which segment is available in which frame? It is like a page table. Page table is also having two entries. Page number outer side and a frame number inner side. This is a page table. Where the page table and segment table are available? Both page table and segment are available in the main memory. So what is the purpose of segment table? Which segment is available in which frame is indicated by the segment table. Each segment has some size. Each segment has some length or size. Where it starts and where it ends. Why? Because in the case of paging, we never had a talk about a starting address, that is a base address, and a limit. Why you are not talking about starting and limit? So why? Because in the case of paging, all the pages are equal size. Pages are of equal size. But in the case of segments, all the segments are not equal. Okay, all the segments are not equal. Each and every segment has some length. Where it starts, we know from the base address. Where it ends, base plus limit is the ending address. Okay. So whenever automatically the CPU generate address is divided into two parts. Follow the cursor. The CPU generate address is divided into two parts: segment number and the offset. Okay. S will be given for the checking. So the segment need to be greater than base and less than or equal to base plus limit. Less than or equal to base plus limit. Have you got my point? It need to be, the segment need to be greater than base and less than or equal to base plus limit. Why? Because if you observe here, 512, that means greater than 512, then it will be in the process, and less than base plus limit, then only will be in the process. Otherwise, if it is less than 512, 511 is a operating system memory, or greater than 562, it will be 563. That means it is another process memory. That is the reason why obviously the segment or a process, it need to be within the memory locations. What is the range? The segment range is greater than base and less than base plus limit. Okay, then only we are within the segment. Okay, if it is not, then what we have to do? That means it is less than base plus limit. If it is less than base plus limit, then automatically there is no problem. Directly with segment number, what we need to add? We need to add the offset. When we need to add the offset? If the segment length is less than base plus limit, then only we need to add the offset to that particular location. Segment number means starting of the address. Segment number consists of starting address, base address. To the base address, we need to add the offset so that we will get the physical address. Okay. So the segment base address, generated address is less than base plus limit. If it is less than base plus limit, then we need to add the offset to it so that we will get the physical address. Otherwise, that means if the segment base address is greater than base plus limit, what will be the problem? If it is greater than base plus, in this example, if it is greater than 562, base plus limit means base is 512, limit is 50, ending is 562. If it is greater than 562, where will it be? It will be in the next process, right? So it is considered as a illegal operation. Okay, that is the reason why we need to check the segment generated address, base address will be less than base plus limit. So if it is less than base plus limit, then automatically the offset will be added to that base address so that the physical address will be generated. If it is greater than base plus limit, automatically trap to the addressing error. Trap means signal to the operating system, error signal to the operating system. What is an error? Addressing error. So that operating system will abnormally terminate the process. So this is called as segmentation hardware. So this is an example. This is the logical address space. Follow the cursor. This is a logical address space. That means user process. How many number of partitions there, blocks are there, segments are there in the user process? The total user process is divided into 5 segments. What are those? Main segment, symbol table segment, stack segment, subroutine segment, SQRT, square root. This is one process. This is a logical address space of one process. Each and every segment has a base address and the register address. So check segment 0. This is the outer portion. What segment table consists of? Two things. What are those? The first one is the segment number and the last one is the location, right? But here we have two values. What are those? Base and limit. In the case of page table, only we have a frame number, only base address we have, but segments are of equal, the unequal size, right? So we need to mention base as well as limit. So segment 0, starting address is 1400. Go to 1400 location. Segment, follow the cursor. Segment 0 is starts at 1400th location. It ends with 2400. Why 2400? 1400 plus 1000 equal to 2400. That is the ending address. Base plus limit. So that we will get the ending address. Like that, segment 1. Segment 1 starts at 6300. Segment 1 starts at 6300. So what is the limit? 400. If we add base address to limit, we get the ending address 6700. Like that, segment 2 starts at 4300. 4300. Okay. Segment 2 starts at 4300 and the limit is 400. So if we add both the things, we'll get the ending address 4700. Like that, segment 3 starts at 3200 and it ends with 4300. Why? Because 3200 plus 1100 equal to 4300. And next, like segment 4, 4700. It starts at 4700, ends with 5700 because 4700 base address, sorry, 4700 base address plus 1000 plus 1000. So 5700. Like that, each segment is in the main memory. Which segment is in which memory location will be indicated by the segment table. So base address is the starting address of segment and limit is, if we add the base to limit, then we will get the ending address of the segment. Okay. And next, one more point you need to understand here is all the segments are of unequal size. So paging is a far away for the user view, but a segmentation is very near to the user view. Why? Because in real time also the program is having different blocks of different size. The program is a combination of different functions and the functions are of different size. So segmentation is near to the user's view. Okay. So that is the first part in your third unit. So by this we can conclude the first part of the memory management. So do you have any doubts? Let me know. Do you have any doubts regarding paging, segmentation, memory management? So let me know, so that we will discuss in the next class. Why? Because already it is 2:30. If you have any doubts, let me know and we will discuss the same thing tomorrow. Otherwise, I will start the new concept. Okay. Do you have any doubts? No. Okay. Either it is clearly understood by you or I don't know what to tell. Okay. So take a time, even not now. If you have any doubt in the future, you can ask me the question regarding any of the topic. Okay. Thank you. I will wind up the session. Tomorrow we'll start the next concept. Okay. Okay. Thank you. So tomorrow morning, as usual, we'll start the session at 9:15. And next, one more thing is it may requires 5 to 6 classes to complete the entire third unit. Okay. Thank you.